Peace, King. How you feeling? Can you hear me?
Peace, King. How you doing? I'm good. I'm well. I can hear you well.
Oh, okay, man. First and foremost, I want to thank you for coming on my platform. I gotta inform you, I'm in Ghana right now, so we having
Oh,
a little
oh,
technical difficulties. But as
oh,
long as your
okay,
screen is good,
okay,
everything will come
okay.
out fine.
You in the motherland. That's what's up.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. So thank you so much for coming on the show. We're gonna get right into it. I know you got a lot of moves to make. For the guests that may not recognize you, let them know who you are and definitely where you're from.
Sure, no problem, man. My name is Omarr Salgado. I am the owner of Fast Forward Films production company, also co-owner of FFIC TV, which is a full production company and marketing source for independent filmmakers. And I'm also head of acquisitions for the American New Network.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I want to get into all of that, but if it's okay with you, I kind of wanted to go back a little bit and talk to you about, man, just getting into the industry and getting involved with music and stuff like that, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Now, I
Sure.
wanted to ask you, now, when did you first even get exposed to hip hop? Was that something that was going on in the community at that time, or did you kind of catch wind of it by radio or TV?
So I can remember as far back, probably I want to say about 9, maybe 10 years old. Yeah, I used to listen to the Mr. Magic's Rap Attack back in the days. You know what I'm saying? And that's back then that's when the Juice Crew, Big Daddy Kane, Biz, Roxanne, Shantae, that whole era. That Eric B and Rakim. So that's kind of the era that introduced me to hip hop. That's kind of when I just really fell in love with the whole genre of hip hop. I didn't really look to um, be an artist until later on in life, but hip hop is definitely something that came very early in time for me.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Big shout out to the Juice Crew, man. We had a couple of Juice Crew alumni on the show.
That's what's
Big
up.
shout out to MC Sham and
Ah, dope,
RIP
dope.
Granddaddy
Yeah,
IU
yeah.
for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, I came up with all that. MC
Dang.
Shan, the whole feud between him and KRS-One and the Bridge is Over. I'm from the Bronx, so that was very, for us that was a big thing. You know what I mean? But matter of fact, growing up in the where I'm from, T Ski was somebody that we knew early on when like hip hop was really in its early stages, and so he used to come on the block a lot. I came up with King Son was another person that I came up with early on in hip hop. I used to hang out on I think it was 100 or 90 or 99th in Columbus, man, where like Third Base and all of them was from. Curious George, that whole scene. So like my history in hip hop really starts early. You know what I mean? Like, pretty much. It's like we're talking about the mid to late '80s, easy.
Man, that is such a blessing because you come from you from the motherland where the hip hop originated. So 90% of the world we had to tune in a little bit later, through the TV and through the videos and the music. But
Right.
that's truly amazing. Now, how did you kind of transition into film? Was that something you was into back then, or something you kind of got into later?
No, film was something that came very, very later on. Like I'm gonna say probably like in my probably like my late 30s to 40s. But I have friends, I have like day ones that I grew up with that been in the business for 30 some odd years already. You know what I mean? And they discovered film um as early as I discovered hip hop. And they've been doing film for a long time. And I remember having a conversation with one of my brothers, Ali Me Ballard, who's known for his roles in the series Numbers. He's also played in Queen of the South more recently, and he was also on Queen Sugar. So, he had introduced me to film uh, back in the late to mid '90s, But I really didn't take it serious back then because I was still on my music journey. You know what I mean? So it wasn't until I kind of faded back from music, and then I started to think about film, and then I created my first short vignette film in 2012.
Wow, that's what's up. Now, when you say creative, did you kind of take on the whole project by yourself in terms of writing it, directing it? Was you acting in it, or if you could go
So
into that?
so so yeah, I wore like in the in the in the world of independent film, a lot of us we come into this wearing a lot of different hats. You know what I mean? But I want to be clear to say that film is never a thing that we you can do solely on your own. You know, it's always something that you need a team behind you in order to get it done. And the film I created was called "The Tie Never Broken," and it was literally just a moment in time that I had with my dad when I was younger, and I was watching him in the mirror tie a tie, and I just reenacted that same moment with my son. Around that same age, and got with one of my boys that was into film, and we started to talk about it. He said, "Yo, why don't we just shoot it?" And we just made it happen. You know what I mean? That's just pretty much how that started for me.
Man, that's dope, man. You
Yeah.
blessed to be able to have that experience and also be able to share it with your son, because we got a lot of, I guess, broken generations where a lot of cats, they never learned how to tie ties or they can't, teach. I ain't gonna say they can't, but, it come a time where they got to learn from somewhere else. So that's dope. That's
Hmm.
what's up.
Yeah.
Um, Now, see, I want to ask you about fast forward films. If you could talk about what made you take it to that level and what exactly does that encompass?
Sure, no problem. So before Fast Forward Films, there was another company that I had called Grown Man Sport. Grown Man Sport was really it really came about just as a um something that I created for men of color in particular, to just really get back to what it was being a gentleman. You know what I'm saying? Like, just really like really holding ourselves accountable for our actions. You know what I'm saying? Learning proper etiquette. Knowing how to go into an interview when you need a job. These are kind of the things that I was really trying to put out there, and so that actually just turned into somehow film. I can't really explain how it happened, but I was never really a person that would get in front of the podium and speak. Right? I'm a creative, so everything that I did had to be visually seen or heard. And so what I did was I just decided to dive into film. I created one of my first short films under Grown Man Sport called Two Days in Harlem, and then there was another one after that called Perceptions. So shortly after that, um, that situation kind of dissipated, and then I created Fast Forward Films in 2019. And at that point, I was already in the independent film game.
Wow, wow, that's what's up. Now I can ask you, now what are some of the pros and cons of being an independent filmmaker and having your own company? If you could speak on that a little bit, because like I think recently, like Taraji P Henson and maybe a couple other actors, black actors, they coming out in 2024 and they still feel like they're being underpaid or they not being compensated properly.
Yeah, it's really not a, the entertainment business in itself is really not an easy world to navigate. My dad was a musician when I was growing up. He was heavy in the Latin field, and I remember when I came to him and said I wanted to be um, in entertainment. He begged me not to, and he said, "Listen, it's just too much. You know what I mean? It's a, just a lot was going on, and as we can see with the current events and some of the things that's happening, some of the people that we looked up to, it's kind of crazy right now. You know what I mean? A lot of people getting exposed. There's a lot of things that were happening, that that's hurting them today. So I think the pro in being independent is that you have the ability to control your own narrative and what it is that you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, um, you're not bound to a bigger picture that someone else is trying to paint. You're doing what you want to do, how you want to do it, and when you want to do it. Um, the con, if it's a con, would just be that it's all on you. You know what I mean? And there's no machine behind you. There's nobody helping you out. Like, there's coming into the independent game in the beginning for me, I had to really humble myself and get to a point where I could not feel a way about asking for help. You know what I mean? Like when you hold yourself in a certain type of esteem and you feel you got this kind of a pride about you, you don't really want to ask nobody for help. But again, film is not something you could do on your own. And what I found out in my experience is that it was total strangers that was coming to the table way beyond any of the people that I knew. You know what I'm saying? It was actually doing for me, man. I was getting some serious donations from people who just believed in the project and wanted to see it come to fruition. So those would be my points.
Wow, okay. I really appreciate you sharing that. And it works out like that sometime, man. You be looking for support and it come from the least obvious places sometimes. Total strangers, you know what I'm saying, that can understand your vision and I guess it works out. That's dope. Now how did you connect with American New Network? And that's in conjunction with Dame Dash. If you could kind of talk about just connecting with him and
Sure.
being a part of that.
Sure. So ironically, me being with Dame, um, it's not so much of a coincidence, to be honest with you. Being in the music game, the the crew that I was with and the people that I came up with in music are interconnected with Dame. I came before the Biggies and the Jay-Z and the Nas. You know what I'm saying? I came before that particular era. I was more so like in the Laws of the Underground or the leaders of the new school or who else? The early Wu Tang, you know what I'm saying? Early Terror Squad, like that Fat Joe, when he was still with DITC Heavy, you know what I mean? So that's where I come from. So our my management um that I was under at that particular time, um, they're they're family members to Dame. You know what I'm saying? So I never worked with Dame ever in that capacity. I didn't even know who he was until later on, till he started to emerge in the game. And then, him and Jay started doing what they did. Um, I took a little bit of a stint. I had to go away for a little while, and I came home. And when I came home, Jay was on a whole nother level. You know what I mean? It was like this dude, when I left, he was opening up for Original Flavor. When I came home, Original Flavor didn't even exist. You understand what I'm saying? So he just became that dude. And so later on, years in life kind of passed, and I reinvented myself in film and I started to become successful in my own right in what I was doing. Dame was trying to create his, empire in film as well. And our mutual connection saw what we were both doing and said, yo, y'all two need to get together. Always doing this, Dame, you doing this. I think you guys can help each other. And that's just how it worked. That's just how it worked out. And we did the whole Dame Dash Studios thing, and that kind of, that went the way it went. And then America New came about. And now this is where we at now. We're doing America New. It's a whole new platform. And it's exactly what Dame has been looking for for years. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of people have tried to create and bring to fruition his vision on what he was looking to do, and they just couldn't. And it was just one situation that came about with a brother named Prophecy who owns another company called Radiant. He's like a tech genius. You know, that's just what he does. He's a tech guy. He's a businessman, and he created this platform for America New. And we've been building on it now, since we launched in late October, and it's been going pretty well so far.
Wow, that's what's up, man. I look forward to everything y'all got in the works. Now I can ask you now, Fast Forward Films, that's still up and running, and
Mhm.
you doing them simultaneously. What are your roles in each of those?
So yeah, so Fast Forward Films is actually that's my film production company as well. And it's also a distribution. I also have a distribution through Fast Forward Films as well. So I'm able to distribute independent films through Fast Forward Films. And I also have other relationships in the space as well with other platforms, that might be suitable for that particular project, right? Not every platform fits a project, and not every project is suitable for a platform. So I really try to put myself in a position where I can, shop a little bit, and kind of see what's out there and what's best, and make sure that the content creator is getting the best possible situation in place so they could flourish on what they're doing. Um, more more recently, and what's more current for me, is FFIC TV, and also known as FFIC Productions, and that's a production company between Fast Forward Films and Official IC Entertainment. Brother by the name of Willie Coggins that I work with. He's an incredible writer and director, and so we just started to get together and create film. We just started to make movies together, and it just made sense for us to come together as a company and really make that happen. So that's the latest and the greatest. We have a project called Sweet Burn that's on Tubi right now as we speak. That's been doing really well since mid last year. And I got about 2 or 3 movies in the works that's getting ready to drop this year. So we working.
Man, that's what's up. That's what's up. I've been trying to tap into the little like I guess streaming sites. I've been having trouble over here, so I gotta wait till I get back to the States. I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna check you out.
gotcha.
I was looking on your IG. You had a film on there, Cuzzo. Were you involved in that or?
So no, Cuzzo was a film that came to me through my everyday discussions with different filmmakers and different people that I know in the business. And they're actually currently on Tubi, but they wanted to expand their reach, and they were interested in America New. So I spoke to the producers of the project. I watched the film, saw the trailers. I thought it was great. Thought it was a good fit for America New, and we just threw it on, man. So we've been promoting and pushing that now, among among
That's what's
other
up.
among other films and different genres, right? So it's just not film; it's documentaries. It's it's we have a on American New, we have a live component, so we can actually stream live at any event that we're doing, and it archives and it goes into the files of American New.
That's what's up. That's what's
Mhm.
up. So are you I guess looking for other filmmakers to submit work that's already completed, or some people like I think I checked out an interview on the guy, he had a book and then he turned it into a film. Are you looking for people at different stages, or are you looking for just a complete project?
Well, I'm going to say with the America New Network, it's mostly projects that are already done and finished, and ready to go. And if they're looking for a home, they want a platform, they want to monetize, or or for what they made, right? Then that's a good situation. Now there are other avenues and other things that we can talk about in terms of people that have scripts or decks or ideas that they're looking to do. And there are avenues for that as well, to try to get funding and things of that nature. That's a little harder nowadays to do. My advice to most people is to try to get it done if you can on your own, and then reap the benefits, the rewards fully, right, for what it is that you put into it. You know what I mean? Because getting someone to invest in what you're doing is difficult now. You know what I mean? You can in a lot of scenarios, there's something that's happening now where multiple investors are getting involved, right? And then they're able to, you know, make the pot a lot larger so you can get the right type of production out of what you're trying to do. So there's a lot of different avenues that you can take to actually get your films made.
Okay, okay. I appreciate you sharing that because I know people coming in at so many different levels. Now, in terms of say staff, are y'all looking for anybody? Like, do y'all have internships, or y'all looking for writers or cameramen or anything like
Uh,
that?
yeah, I would say we're always keeping our eyes open, right, for new talent. Whatever that may be, whatever talent that you have that makes sense for what's needed on the platform, right? So if you're a DP, we always need a DP with, you always need an editor. Editors are very, very hard to find. Good editors are very difficult to find. um Writers, yeah, we can always, depending on the project and what it is that you have, yeah, we would entertain that as well. But it's not something that we're actively looking for at the moment, but it's definitely something that we keep our eyes open for, because you just never know. Depending on the project, you might need some extra hands on that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. I gotta salute you. The information you sharing with me is very inspiring. Like you said, you had to go away for a while, but you was able to bounce back, get into films, and like you said, you come from a whole other industry of making music. And I think for the viewers, that's something that they can utilize. You know what I'm saying, with what they doing. I wanted to ask you about one more thing. I was checking out an interview with you, and you had spoke on mental health a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you could kind of touch on? And I mean, in
Yeah.
conjunction with making art.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's something that I'm very, very in tune with. And I'm in tune with it because it hit me in 2019 personally, where I was really on this mental health journey trying to figure out some things. And that was during the pandemic. There was a lot of stuff happening around that time, right? A lot of things that we had to absorb as individuals, you know what I'm saying? And what I found in my journey is that it was very difficult for a black man to get help. Extremely difficult for us to get help. First, number one, you have to admit, right, to yourself that you possibly are dealing with something, right? You might have depression or anxiety or whatever that case may be, right? And then it's finding a someone or something that can help you decipher what that looks like. And then once you get to that point, trying to find the right source. I went through many different programs. I dealt with many different type of psychologists and social workers, and I just couldn't find the right one. And then one day, at some point, I was able to get somebody which I continuously see. Because right now, what it's about is maintenance. You got to maintain that. You just don't figure it out, and then you see somebody for a minute, and then you say, all right, I'm good. Nah, now you gotta maintain it, right? So that's what I'm on right now. But yeah, the mental health thing is a big thing for me. I'm an advocate. I'm a big advocate for it. I believe that the fact that I am a creative, right, and I'm into film and I'm into music, that actually has helped me in my quest. You know what I'm saying? It's helped me in healing myself. You know what I mean? Because I have something other than, your normal, everyday, eventful day that would go by to kind of lean on. So when I'm feeling a certain way, even with music, I still write a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So even with music, I might go and, you know, write something to kind of get those emotions up out of me, or I play a certain part in the movie because I act as well, so I might play a certain part in the movie that that I could relate to whatever situation is really going on. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, we almost 30 minutes in, so I want to kind of wrap it up, man.
sure.
I really appreciate you coming on the platform. It's definitely been an honor. I look forward to everything you got going on, man. Keep up the great work. I want to thank the viewers for tuning in. It's definitely been a phenomenal episode of Taye Speaks. So until next time, family.
Thank you, my
Peace.
brother. I appreciate you. Peace.